after 3 days of death. Jesus arose for all to see. What a wonderful, wonderful miracle that God performed for you. No more loving your neighbor, no such thing as a friend. Do unto others before they do it to you. The world is not my home, I'm just passing through. Get on board the Jesus train and let it take you from this world of sin. Get on board the Jesus train and let it take you from this world of sin. The world is full of hate and the world is full of fear. People talking about you, you're the last to hear. As in the days of Noah, God will return. You better come to Jesus now or be quick to burn. Get on board the Jesus train and let him take you from this world of sin. Get on board the Jesus train and let him take you from this world of sin. Glory, hallelujah, well we know the tickets are free. Just come to Jesus, he will hear your plea. No need to give up anything, my friend. Just come to Jesus Christ and meet again. Get on board the Jesus train and let him take you from this world of sin. Get on board the Jesus train and let him take you from this world of sin. Get on board the Jesus train. 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 Get on bo news update.
Stand your ground.
I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the
Stand
army.
your ground.
I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I got my war clothes on in the army of the Lord. I got my war clothes on in the army. I got my war clothes on in the army of the Lord. I got my war clothes on in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I got my breastplate on in the army of the Lord. I got my helmet on in the army. I got my sword and shield in the army of the Lord. His truth is marching on. Bring it on. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier.
Left, left, right, left, 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 right, left.
I'm a soldier.
Left, left, right, left.
Come on now, left, 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 right, left. I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir. I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir. I may never march in the infantry, but I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir. I'm gonna fight until I die. In the army of the Lord. I'm gonna fight until I die. In the army. Oh, I'm gonna fight until I die. In the army of the Lord. I'm gonna fight until I die.
All right, praise the Lord, everybody. Here we are in our evening news brief, Middle East news, and it is good to be here with you this evening. And we are making an attempt once again at a simulcast, and so I am here, and I see Sister Terry is here, and Rosanna is here. God bless you, my little sister. And I see Sister Mickey over here on Mixler. God bless you, Sister Mickey, and two people elsewhere. God bless everyone for coming this evening to share with me this news brief tonight. And, you know, it takes a little bit to put this stuff together, but it's okay. We got it going on. Now, I may not be an expert in all of the Middle East news, such as some people are, but I do know what the Bible prophecy is, and I do know to watch things and see things. And what we're doing here is we're just sharing news that you may or may not, mostly may not get on mainstream media. And so, and maybe a little discussion about it, and try to maybe figure out why and what's going on. But I would bring you all into remembrance the Psalm 83 war, where there's going to be a co-conspiracy between all of the kingdoms that surround Israel, and they are going to one day make an onslaught against Israel to take it down. There's no doubt about that. It is coming. We can see that by listening just to the people round about. And I believe that Israel knows that. And that is why Benjamin Netanyahu is not well liked, because he's not going to put up with any kind of poking fun or rattling sabers or jibber jabber or tomfoolery, he's just he's gonna tell you. He's gonna tell you, don't do this or that. And when you do it, immediately before you realize that you are successful, he's gonna slap you. And he slaps pretty hard these days because he's getting tired of that little slapping going on. And what his reasoning is never again. The Bible says that never again will Israel be scattered. And this is the word that he rests his whole ministry and campaign on. That is never again. And he's at the ready. He's at the ready against anyone that wants to make an attempt to fight Israel, to push them down. Now, he's not backing down. He's going to stay right where he is. He's given up, I think, all that he's going to give. It's my opinion. But we shall see soon when the new peace accord comes out with the United States. But that's another news event that we'll get to. So make no mistake about it, what we're watching in Israel is not a terrorist. Benjamin Netanyahu is not a terrorist. He's simply defending his small little nation that is surrounded, literally surrounded by other nations that want to see their defeat. Now, what will we do if we would say we're in Oklahoma and all the surrounding states were at our borders and all we could hear was their rhetoric about the end of Oklahoma? Well, Oklahoma's either going to give up or they're going to muscle up. Right? So Israel is either going to give up or muscle up. And I want you to understand that in light of any of the other people who want to be the prime minister, Benjamin Netanyahu is going to muscle up and stand up. And any small move is going to be met with great force. Right? Because never again will Israel be scattered. That's the word that he's standing on. Now we know what prophecy tells us, that Israel is going to be divided. We understand that. And he doesn't. He doesn't want to hear about it. And maybe he does. And maybe he might think that a little bit of Eastern Jerusalem is enough. He might. We'll find out. But I can guarantee you one thing. You can chip all you want to away from the land. But when it comes to Jerusalem and Israel, I don't think you're going to get any more. Not without a big fight. And I say that in regards to the Psalm 83 war, which I believe is in the very near future. Some people say I don't like the Palestinians, but it has nothing to do with not liking the Palestinians. Although, scripturally, we know that they are liars and they are deceitful. And they only have one goal in their heart, and that's to take Israel off the map. In that respect, I don't have a lot of respect for the Palestinians in that I know what their ulterior motive is, and they're not afraid to tell the whole world what it is. Now, of course, as Christians, we love everybody. So I know it sounds like I'm talking like this, then I'm talking like that, and this side of this side of that. But the fact of the matter is, we know the heart of the Palestinians and the Arabs. I wish that it would all go away. I pray that it would all just go away. And all of a sudden we could wake up one morning and everybody holding hands, singing Kumbaya. I would love that. To me, that would be a great victory in the name of Jesus. But don't be fooled by the demonic co-conspirators. They're not. And all the power that they have been given to them, they will not give up. The demonic mafia is on a mission, and they will not give up. Satan will not quit. He won't stumble. He won't stop until God puts the chains on him and the false prophet and throws them into the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. But before then, he's going to do his best to perform his plan. You understand that? Now, the thing about it is, a lot of people don't believe in spiritual warfare and spiritual fighting. But those things are real. And make no mistake about it, the devil ain't going to quit. And that's fact. And a greater fact is, Jesus doesn't quit either. No matter what. And he waits. And he's patient. And he waits for you. For you to make a decision. He waits. Amen. Well, let's look at some of this news here. We have some interesting news tonight. Let's take a look at this first headline. Well, I had it here somewheres. Maybe it ran away. And it looks like it did. Okay, that's me. That's that. That's that. It should be here. And I don't see it. Apparently something has happened to my my internet here. And I know I'm still on the air. At least I hope I am. Got a black screen over here. So let me see if I can get rid of this black screen. Y'all stay with me. I'm going to see if I can bring it back up. Stay with me. Stay with me. Hang on. I don't know where it went, but we're going to try this. Let's see if we can bring it up. I already see a problem with the URL. So let's, let me drop that. Oh, I'm not going to be able to. Okay, let me go one more time and that's it. I'm just trying to get functionality here. Okay. Now I got something might happen. And if it doesn't, well, we'll just do it the other way. While we wait to see. Shouldn't take long if we're successful. Don't go away. I'm still working on it. And I'm not going to work long because we're going to get moving here as soon as we can. But I see it's not coming up. And I am having other issues. So let's blow that so that we don't lose any time. All right. So the first headline tonight I want to discuss is an interesting one. I heard it today and I was surprised by it. And the headline is, Trump announces plans for Pentagon to create Space Force. Dateline Cape Canaveral, Florida, vowing to reclaim U.S. leadership in space, President Donald Trump announced Monday he is directing the Pentagon to create a new Space Force as an independent service branch aimed at ensuring American supremacy in space. So it looks to me like Donald Trump is now not only going to make America great again, but he wants to make space great again. Trump envisioned a bright future for the U.S. space program, pledging to revive the country's flagging efforts, return to the moon, and eventually send a manned mission that would reach Mars. The president framed space as a national security issue, saying he does not want China and Russia and other countries leading us in the space race. So now he's after space. I wonder how much trouble that's going to cause. He says, quote, "My administration is reclaiming America's heritage as the world's greatest space-faring nation," Trump said in the East Room, joined by members of his Space Council. "The essence of American character is to explore new horizons and to tame new frontiers. When it comes to defending America, it's not enough to merely have an American presence in space. We must have American dominance in space. We are going to have the Air Force, and we are going to have a Space Force, separate but equal." Well, there you go. So now, President Trump is after space. He's going to make it powerful again, going to make space great again. He wants to rule space, the moon, and Mars. I wonder how far he can reach in his presidency. However, he is right about one thing. We have been very reluctant in our space applications. While other countries, even the smaller ones like North Korea, have launched particular secret satellites that go over the United States twice a day. We don't even know what they do or what it is. Along with other countries, not our allies, that are putting particular satellites in orbit. Now, some specialists say that there are over 10,000 satellites orbiting our planet. Now, if I was someone flying from another galaxy to the Earth, boy, you better have a road map or you're going to have a collision, right? That's an incredible amount of satellites. However, we have been slack in our space protection, because we know that space is going to become an issue. Now, I know I'm making light of this in a way, but really he's right. He really is. And we shall see if we have the time. Headline: U.S. official: Israel behind the mysterious Syria airstrike that killed dozens. As you know, there was an airstrike that hit Syria last night, and it's caused a lot of who did it. An airstrike that killed more than 50 pro-regime fighters in eastern Syria, most of them foreign, was carried out by Israel and not the United States, a U.S. official told CNN on Monday. A U.S. source also told AFP, "We have reasons to believe that it was an Israeli strike." Damascus has accused the U.S.-led coalition of carrying out the late-night June 17th strike on Al-Hara, a town near the Iraqi border, controlled by regional militants fighting in the complex 7-year war on behalf of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. An Iraqi parliamentary force said 22 of its fighters were killed in the raid and also accused the United States of carrying out the strike. U.S. planes fired 2 guided missiles at a fixed position of Hashad al-Shabaab's units on the border with Syria, killing 22 fighters and wounding 12. Said the Iran-backed potato mashed hashed Hasabah. There you go. So, potato hash, he says that the U.S. did it. And everybody else, including the U.S., says Israel did it. The thing about that is, we both run together down the same road. What difference does it make? If Israel did it or we did it, or we all did it, the hit was made. You see, the thing about it is, you think Netanyahu is going to sit still and just take it, but he's not. Excuse me. He's not going to sit still and take it. I told you that earlier. Moving along, let's take a look and see what's next. Headline: 10:29 p.m. Israeli time. Netanyahu holds rare meet with Jordan king ahead of U.S. peace push. Let's check that out. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with Jordan's King Hafadallah in Amman on Monday, ahead of an expected visit by the top White House officials seeking to lay the groundwork for the release of an Israel-Palestinian-backed peace plan. The trip to Amman by Netanyahu was only disclosed by the Prime Minister's office after he returned to Israel Monday evening. It was their first publicly confirmed such meeting in the last 4 years. The King and the Prime Minister discussed regional developments and advancing the peace process and bilateral relations. Prime Minister Netanyahu reiterated Israel's commitment to maintaining the status quo at the holy sites in Jerusalem. He's not given up his ground. You understand that? So he reiterated to King Hafadallah, and his buddy hasn't been sober. Now, he ain't giving up no ground in the Holy Lands. You understand that? Attending the Monday meeting was Mossad Chief Yossi Cohen, Netanyahu's military attaché, Eliezer Toledo Nano, his chief of staff, Yovav Hortowitz, a representative from the National Security Council, and the Prime Minister's top economic advisor, Professor Avan Samihon. The The rare meeting came after months of strained ties between Jerusalem and Amman over the killing of 2 Jordanians by an Israeli embassy guard. Well, it doesn't matter even if there's a meeting. We can plainly see that Benjamin Netanyahu is going to hold his ground, ladies and gentlemen. This is prophetic. You might think, well, I don't know much about relations in the Middle East, and I know what I read and I know what I see. And I do check on my sources who do know. And I know that Israel's not giving up any ground. Okay? So, everybody, I think, is waiting for this peace plan. Because when this peace plan hits, and people realize whether it's going to go or not go, then they're going to move. Because they're not going to wait for any more diplomats. Now, right now, when it comes to diplomacy, Benjamin Netanyahu reminds me of Scotty on Star Trek, who says to him the only good diplomat or diplomacy is a fully charged phaser. And that's exactly what you're going to see. Abbas, his aide, slams reported U.S. plan to raise funds for Gaza. I have a question about this I would like to ask everybody. Why, ladies and gentlemen, do we need to raise funds for Gaza? A senior Palestinian official on Monday condemned reported U.S. plans to secure Gulf funding for major energy and economic projects aimed at improving the humanitarian situation in the improvised Gaza Strip. Nabil Abu Radhatai, an aide to Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, alleged Monday that such efforts are designed to further divide Palestinians in the PA-run West Bank from those living in the Gaza Strip run by Islamist terrorist organization Hamas. How many times have we raised funds for the Gaza Strip to bail them out because they're all dying of thirst? I have a great picture here of the little children with their jugs trying to get water. Why? Why, ladies and gentlemen? Billions, with a B, of dollars sent to Gaza, to the PA, only to be snatched and grabbed by Hamas and used for military activities such as used tractor tires, kites, condoms, diesel fuel, rocks, slingshots. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. They're paying off somebody. I'm telling you, somebody is getting the payoff. They're out front. The Palestinians, they're out front. They're on the fence. They're out there yipping and yapping and saying this and saying that and all this other stuff and showing pictures of the starving children that they're starving while we give them money after money after money after money to rebuild Gaza. How many times do we have to pay to rebuild Gaza? And they're using that money as a payoff to some big brother somewhere because the Palestinians aren't playmakers. They're not even big enough to be in the game. So they're buying off somebody that is. And when are they going to step ahead? And why do we have to raise more money? Boy, I'm on a rant now, ain't I? The Palestinian leadership warns the countries of the region against cooperating with a move whose goal is to perpetuate the separation between Gaza and the West Bank and lead to concessions on Jerusalem and the holy sites, the statement said, according to reports. Earlier on Monday, the Haaretz Daily reported that U.S. officials are in talks to raise over $500 million. Really? Really? Now, if we're going to make America great again, we've got to stop giving these criminals free money. Why do we want to give $500 million to the Palestinians when they're not going to rebuild their country? Why don't we take the $500 million, Mr. President, and get in touch with some really straight faith-based mission and take care of our own children right here in the United States? And all those children down there in Brownsville in the ex-Walmart FEMA camp, we could send them back home. Now that sounds terrible. Okay, well, let's keep them. Fine. Okay, fine. Let's keep the children. God bless the children. What about our children? What about our homeless America? What about our vets who need health care and assistance? What about homeless veterans living on the street? San Antonio, Texas has one of the best homes for displaced veterans that I've ever seen. Probably one of the best in all the United States. A model to the rest of the country. $500 million. Let's go. Why do we have to rally up $500 million from the Gulf states? Isn't it their turn to help us? Why, you think we're sitting around here all fine and dandy? We don't have any problems? Oh, we got problems. Problems that our very own representatives turn their back to. They don't want to see it. They don't want to hear it. Our representatives in this country, who are supposed to be representing the states and the districts, to the government, to Congress. And they're too busy getting lobbyist money for nothing. I'm sorry. I mean, what I'm trying to say is $500 million. We're going to raise that for Gaza. For what? Even if they promise to use it to rebuild their little nation, it won't happen because they've done this before. Why don't we let them live in what they've perpetuated? They've put themselves in the position that they're in. You think somebody's going to come and run and help us? No, that's why we hired a president to help make our country great again, because ain't nobody else going to help us. We've had a communist in the White House. We were unsuccessful. me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. And it ain't no joke. Yes, I know, Sister Terry, I'm just wound up tighter than a 3-day clock. $500 million. Watch out. I'm so sorry. Headline. Israel carries out fresh airstrike after Gazans launch condom fire balloons. It's a picture here of a Palestinian with 2 blowed up condoms with helium, tying them together to a Molotov cocktail. An Israeli aircraft bombed a Hamas position in southern Gaza Strip on Monday night after a group of Palestinians launched Molotov cocktail balloons at southern Israel. The attack came after the Israeli Air Force conducted a series of airstrikes inside the coastal enclave aimed at deterring Palestinian terror groups from continuing to launch Molotov cocktails and explosive kites and balloons at Israel. Though it did not stop them completely, the military's aerial bombardments appeared to have some effect on the number of airborne devices launched from the Gaza Strip. What? What? What do you want me to do? What? You're upset because I'm ranting over $500 billion and they're still launching helium-filled condoms with Molotov cocktails tied to them? Is the word stop not in their repertoire? Top minister urges shooting to kill Gaza kite launchers. They're not backing down. Iraqi force accuses the U.S. of killing 22 of its fighters in Syria. So now the Iraqi force is an accusation of the United States when everybody knows it was Israel. But like I said, what difference does it make? Because the two of us are one. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with all that being said, the magnetopause, to change the subject, the magnetopause is completely wrecked. The jet stream is completely wrecked. Earthquakes are completely wrecking things. Japan got hammered last night. I think 10 or 15 people were killed. And Hawaii continues to rant with 500 earthquakes a day, now up to 2 5-pointers a day instead of 1. While the crater gets bigger and the lava continues to flow, a sign from God tells us that the fiery end, I do believe, is now on the move. And the core is under tremendous, tremendous pressure. And God knows. God knows exactly what he's doing. We wake up one morning and it's going to be totally different. And just like those 5 unwise virgins who did not have their lamps trimmed, you're going to get caught. And I don't want that. I don't want anybody to be caught unaware that Jesus Christ is coming. Well, you've been saying it for years. How many years? So how close is it then? And you don't know. He could come for you tomorrow because you could be in an automobile accident and be instantly killed tomorrow, and boom, he's come for you. Will you be ready? You don't have any hold on the next second of your life. Your future is totally in the hands of the King. Now, will you sign your soul over to him by accepting Jesus Christ? Are you willing to stay under contract to the demonic co-conspirators? Or are you willing to change your life and step out of that darkness into the light? And when Jesus comes, you'll be able to hop up with the rest of us, millions and millions of believers, and enter into God's heavenly, righteous, holy kingdom. Being left behind is not a choice. You don't want that. Being left behind is not a choice. It's a mistake. Reading out of the book of Psalms tonight, by the way, as of this morning, there were 55 volcanoes in eruption status. Last month, there was only 30. Today, there are 55 volcanoes around the world in eruption status. All over the world. Sleeping volcanoes are waking up. God said that he would shake this earth, and this earth is shaking, ladies and gentlemen. Shaking all over. In the natural and in the spiritual. The 142nd Psalm. I cry out to the Lord. I plead for the Lord's mercy. I pour out my complaints before him, and I tell him my troubles. When I am overwhelmed, you alone know the way I should turn. Wherever I go, seems like my enemies have set traps for me. I look for someone to come and help me, but no one gives me a passing thought. No one will help me. No one cares a bit what happens to me. Then I pray to you, O Lord, and I say, you are my place of refuge. You are all that I really want in life. Hear my cry, for I am very low. Rescue me from my persecutors, for they're too strong for me. Bring me out of prison so I can thank you. The godly will crowd around me. For you, Lord, you're good to me. And I want you to know he's good to you. Every day and all day long. He doesn't hate. He's not mad. He really is our comforter. We can't always trust on the natural, for comfort. But he sent us a comforter in truth that we can call upon and in whatever situation we're in. Choose Jesus today. And I thank the Lord for this broadcast and for each and every one of you live on YouTube and live on Mixlr.com. And I would tell you that this ministry can be reached at P.O. Box 3121. That's Box 3121, Canyon Lake, Texas, 78133. Please write us. Send us a gift. Send us your prayer request. Let's communicate together. Let's hold together, you and me. Hold our force. Stay on the front line. Soon the Lord comes to relieve us. And we will continue to hold until relieved. Hold your ground until relieved.
Stand your ground.
I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the
Stand your ground.
I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I got my war clothes on. In the army of the Lord. I got my war clothes on.